Um, so this is a, oh, there's a praying mantis. Sorry, darling. Okay, so this is a late night channeled message. I'm out looking at the stars that you cannot see because with all the advancements in technology, we still cannot seem to see the sky through these damn things. So, how do I start this? Excuse, I've just got a torch in my hand. You ever have those times where you're just like so grossed out by the collective and by humanity? Um, yeah, I'm having one of those times. That's the sound of the river you can hear. So I'm thinking a lot um, about being a woman and a content creator on YouTube specifically, but also on other apps, also on other platforms such as social media. And just thinking about, yeah, so you're not going to see, you'll see hardly anything if you're just joining and you're like, why can I just hear sound? It's because I'm looking at the night sky and you can't see it. Here's my pretty skirt. Here's a tree that you can't see. There's the river that you can hear. So I'm just thinking a lot about being a woman and a content creator and like just being quite grossed out by the collective at this time. And thinking about being extremely telepathic and the kind of ethical dilemmas that comes with, as well as being a medium. And the other night I was thinking about how do you choose what spirit to serve? How do you choose what stranded or abandoned soul to speak to or speak on the behalf of? And also thinking about Indigenous people, being Indigenous, and the kind of decolonizing work that seems to be becoming more and more needed, I hate to say, but more and more required and needed. I did a lot of channeling today about the idea of like virtual worlds, the idea of like synthesized realities, synthesized universes, the way that different people talk about different realms. Um, like whether you see that in an energy way. The message that's coming through right now is that all webs are made of energy. And this is like, I've got basically a whole bunch of channeling coming through about the motherfucking annoying as fuck stupid internet, stupid, amazing, wonderful, completely fucked internet, which of course is a web, and then looking at the webs that are forming within that web, that is like a lot of creepy online cults. This is something I'm also looking at in correlation with my own experience of YouTube. This is Codes of Harmony, by the way. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Do whatever you want. Yeah, so thinking about what it means to be a woman who, by virtue, for lack of better words, by virtue, my work is the sort of work that is being offered predominantly in the world, in the Western world, in the larger scheme of things, online. And spirit, or my channel, like my guides, or my brain and my soul and my like unique me has channeled this timeline that's been kind of shown to me about what's occurred for the entire collective over the last half a decade, ever since all those big fires that happened across the world. And then, of course, that being almost like a prelude into the pandemic, blah, blah, blah. And it's shown me this timeline connected to webs, connected to technology, and connected to what happens when there is a huge shift, particularly one that threatens people's lives, threatens the collective, and what that does, something like a huge natural disaster, something that affects everybody, right? And the danger that can happen there of when people need safe spaces, when people need community, when people need communication, when people need each other the most, that there are certain people, places, energies, or entities that will try and take advantage of that. And yeah, so I've got like really big messages coming through around that. So I've, they are so complex that it's become apparent that scribing some of them is going to be beneficial. So I've been doing that. But it's not the sort of conversation that you rush. Um, take it slow. So, and obviously trusting divine, I'm trying to trust in divine timing to know when it's going to be the right time to share that timeline that's being, that I've been channeling about here at Codes of Harmony. And like some big messages like, is YouTube, what is YouTube's relationship and capacity for the quote unquote monitoring of online cults? I avoid TikTok like the plague because I know about the TikTok spiral and the kind of mind control tactics that are being utilized on that platform. Yeah. So, yeah, please give me clear divine guidance be most beneficial for everyone involved. All webs are made of energy. So whether you look at that from a more spiritual point of view, and you think about, quantum layers of energy and the way that they're interlinked and interwoven. You can think about ley lines as energy, so certain ley lines on the planet, certain energetic things that happen there. Then you can look at it like the electronic web that is the internet, that so many people's lives have been interwoven into. They're bringing forward lots of past life messages, or what you might look at as messages connected to. If you don't believe in past lives, then you can also look at it and take it as messages about the past. That idea of knowing the past, knowing your history, her story, them story, so that you do not repeat what the mistakes of the past. Yeah, and I said the mistakes of your parents and ancestors, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so what happens when there is a major disaster, which is funny that I used a please let me clear divine guides who are most beneficial and involved, that I used a term referencing the plague a minute ago. So if you think about something like the plague taking place, that is a threat to the general collective, a large-scale threat. The time, the timeline, the plane of existence that took place in had a very different form and idea of technology and interconnectedness. And yeah, so then there's messages coming through about global economy stuff, about I keep hearing, do you believe in magic? Yeah, what do we really understand what we're doing, whether it be on a quote unquote in real life reality, the reality of the web, of the internet, and the way that manifests as webs within actual people's communities, people's homes, people's families, people's relationships, people's lives, people's jobs, their workplaces. Yeah. And I don't mean to sound ungrateful to YouTube, of course. I don't mean to sound at all ungrateful to technology. It's amazing that I'm sitting here right now underneath the stars by a river, surrounded by rainforest and creatures and Mother Nature and wildness, and that I can be sharing my voice so literally here. And that is taking place because of multiple webs, some of them being invisible, some of them being very visible, very tangible, very real, quote unquote real. So then these messages are expanding around multiverses and peacefully clear and divine guidance. And the questions around telepathy and if or how technology as an industry is studying, is targeting, and is interested in people like me who are very telepathic, very magic. And if you're resonating with this video, you're probably magic too. Does that make sense? Yeah, I guess that's a good start to the conversation. What are we looking at? 15, 16 minutes? Um, Part of this is